Okay, so this is what we have for the button now. The border is gone. And we will go further to the footer. So for the footer, on top here we have Nigeria, and on the bottom we have this content here on the some on the left hand side, one in the middle, and the other one on the right. So let's work on the footer. So we're going to have a footer container. We're going to open that up. And inside the footer container, we will have a div container for the top. We will name it, give it a class footer top. Footer top, and we are going to add a paragraph to that div. Nigeria, the paragraph tag, p tag, Nigeria is completed. And still inside the footer container, we're going to have another div for the bottom content. We're going to give it a class footer bottom. And inside the footer bottom container, we know we have some items on the left hand side. So we're going to create a div and give that a class left. And we have the one on the middle, which is going to use an anchor tag. The content there is carbon neutral since 2007. And we have the other items on the left hand side, so we're going to have another div container with a class right. Okay, so all of this is inside the footer container. Okay, so let's see what we have on the browser now. Okay, so that's what we have there now, right there, carbon and that. So we have to add this content on the left hand side and the ones on the right. So we have about advertising business and these other ones here. So we're going to go ahead to add to the div on the left. What we have there are links, anchor tags. The first one is about, second one is business. The third one is okay, the second one is advertising. Third one is business, and the last one is how search works. Okay. So for the ones on the right, we're going to add in between the div container class right. We're going to add anchor tags. First one is privacy. Second one is terms. And the last one is settings. Okay, so I save. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we go ahead to style the footer now. The footer container, we have a background color of gray. The gray is a little bit light, so I'm going to just click over on this box and I can pick a lighter gray. Let's see that on the browser. Okay, and let's start working on the footer top, which is where we have the Nigeria. The class name is footer top. Just going to copy that. And because it's a class, we start with a dot, then the name. The footer top, let's give it a padding of 1 EM, so there'll be space around it. Okay. Let's do the same thing for the footer bottom. Give it a pattern of 1 EM too. Okay. So we need to make this align. I'm going to give it I'm going to use Playflex. Playflex is very good and it can be used for a variety of purposes. What Playflex does, and I'm going to use justify content space between to space it out. Yeah, that's what I have there. And also I'm going to give a little bit of space in between the links here. It's too clustered there. So, and that links are in the div container class left. So I'm going to get that the container is the class is dot left and the link in it. I'm going to target it, and I want to have a margin right for each of the links so that there's a little bit of space right to each other. Okay, so there's a margin here, there's a margin here, just to space things out. I'll do the same thing for the one on the right. So the container is to the right, and I target the anchor link tags that are there, and I give it a margin right of 1 EM. Okay, this is getting better. And there's this horizontal line here. So I'm going to use a border for the footer bottom. I'm going to give a border top, 1 pixel solid gray. To get that border. Oh, there it is. Okay, and if you notice this padding here, the space here is too much. I actually gave it 1 PM, but this is more than 1 PM. Why? Because of the default margin and padding we have for some tags. So for some tags like the paragraph tag, the heading tag, they have default margin that comes with them. So it's a standard practice for you to just set your body, set the margin and the padding in the body and for those tags to remove those default margin and padding. So I'm going to set the margin and padding here to 0. Padding 0. Oh, so this is much better. Okay, so this is actually the padding 1 EM that I gave it to, not with the extra default margin that comes with it. Okay, so I'm going to try to work on the main so that I'll bring this down a little. I'm going to go to the main style, and in margin, I'm going to add 7 EM. So 7 EM is for top and bottom, 7 EM, and also is for left and right, equal spacing left and right. So I'm saying here, give me a space of 7 EM on the top and then the bottom, and equal spacing for left and right. I get this. Okay, so let's give a little bit of space for the header. It's too close to the edge there. So I go to the nav and I use a padding of 2 EM. So 2 EM means for top, bottom, left and right, a space of 2 EM. Okay. So this much better. So I don't want this horizontal line here. So I'm just going to try to reduce the top and bottom size there. I'm going to reduce it. Let me use 6.9. That would go up. Okay. It's much better. I think our work is fine. And feel free to play around the style. And there's no one way to go about it. There are different ways you can go about your styling. There's so many ways you can go about it. So feel free to play around it. What else is left? Let's look at the home page. So if you over on this, you see that it has this underline effect. Same for the footer. Okay. And we are going to add that to it. So to add that, we are going to remove the nav. I'm removing the nav so that the styling I give to the A tag would be general. That means it has effect for both the footer and the nav. So assuming I use nav here, the styling will have effect only for the nav. But since we have a tag on the footer too, so I don't have to indicate that for nav only. I'll just leave it at A so that whatever styling is there would also take effect for both the footer and the nav. So I'm going to add an over effect, and I'm going to add text decoration on the line. So this should work for both the nav, the header, and also for the footer. This is just fine. You can play around your styles. There are different ways to go about this task. And if you can get up to this, you'll get a complete score for your task. And I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you have any issues or questions or challenges, you can reach out to any of the mentors, and they are very much available to help you. Thank you.